Podcast. I'm your host, E-Rock. If you like this podcast, do me a favor real quick and go to whatever podcast app you listen to this on and give us a rating. It really helps get found in the searches and getting in suggested feeds. I want to give a shout out to the sponsors of this episode, Hefe's Airsoft Solutions, Skirmish, and TNT Airsoft. Make sure you guys go check out their content, products, and services. I'll have the links to all of those in the description. Thanks for being here. Let's get into the podcast. Welcome back, bro.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, always.
Yeah,
it's been a minute since we've last spoken. Since when?
It was February.
Before February. The beginning of February.
Uh-huh.
So what?
Man. You've been busy.
Yeah, almost 4 months now have gone by.
Yeah.
But a lot has been happening, really. We've had 2 NSL events that I've played in. One at our local field at CIA.
Yep.
The other in Rhode Island. Got picked up for Team USA, going to the Netherlands in July.
What?
Yes, sir. We'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Oh my God.
In a little bit.
We've
been hosting a bunch of small scrimmages for teams to come in and practice as a collective when we're all playing against each other so we can help each other out. We've been doing that every Sunday now. For $20, come in. It's 4 hours, 6 to 10 every Sunday.
Yeah.
Until our U.S. National Championship in June in Rhode Island. And we've just been practicing every Sunday like we've been doing. And honestly, it's been working pretty well.
Dude, that's crazy. So last time you and I talked, you had you were getting ready for the NSL stuff.
Yes, right? We were preparing during that time because we had the February event, and we ended up getting 3rd place.
Nice.
Since it was brand new to us, we still had to go through the motions. We practiced as much as we could. We practiced hard, and we worked as hard as we could, and then we played as hard as we could, and we still figured out that we needed to tweak some things. And then more things came up along the way afterwards towards the Rhode Island tournament, and we had to tweak some more things. So now that we've ironed out all of these problems, then June will be no issue for us, hopefully.
Good. So you went, so how did, so you guys went up as a whole team to Rhode Island?
Yes, sir.
What is that, Extreme Airsoft?
We did travel up there as a team to Extreme Airsoft. Everybody from our roster went. We flew. It was nice. Everybody got to the airport relatively same time. Anthony and Andrew flew up a couple days prior to get everything situated up there since Anthony lives in Rhode Island.
Oh,
so he
okay.
went up there and seen his family and everything and got his house ready for myself and a few other of my teammates to stay there while other teammates booked a hotel. But this time, we're all going to be in the same spot, hopefully, to reduce any problems that might show up. Because last time, a lot of people were staying up late.
Yeah.
Just like guys being dudes.
Well,
shit like that.
They're like, hey, this is a vacation, okay? Like, we're chilling out over here. Like, this is a fun trip. Yeah, we know how to play airsoft. We don't have to fucking prep. What are you talking about?
Well,
Like,
we got 4th place in that event, and let that placement it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still here as far as consistency goes.
Yeah.
Placing 3rd and 4th, playing 2 out of the 4 events in this season puts us in 6th place in the nation and 12th place in the world in the global and national rankings, respectively. So I'd say we've done pretty well, but we could have done some things better, and those things will be fixed going into the end of this season, into the next season. Okay. And we still have to prepare for SpeedQB and CSL, which is coming up soon in the coming months. Yes, we are. So we're doing all the formats, getting as much playing time as possible. Try to win some sponsors, keep our sponsors that are currently we're currently repping Happy getting that content because it's hard to get content, especially when you're playing NSL. All the other formats, it's not hard to get content because they allow you to film.
Oh, okay.
But in NSL, they don't allow you to film with GoPros. Especially the only time we can do that is during the practice games. But you're not really worried about filming during the practice games because you should be worried about playing, figuring out the angles, figuring out some light strategy, and kind of reading what the other teams are practicing about. Because 9 times out of 10, they're going to repeat the same play format the day of the tournament. So you have to be vigilant about that and a little bit perspicacious. But with all that in mind, you're not really thinking about filming because it's not important because it's all filmed and live streamed, and a lot of people will take those footage, like the footage that they put on the live streams, and just repost it on their Instagram, which gets NSL more publicity. And then they have their own film crew, which they make videos and highlight reels and their little interview snippets, and they post them on their YouTube and social medias to gain the traction that they need in order to grow their format.
Yeah, those are good too. I've seen
they are. The production quality of NSL is top tier.
Yeah.
Like SpeedQB, they're right underneath. They don't have the live stream capabilities that NSL does. They don't have the commentator abilities that NSL does. And then you have CSL that doesn't really have the camera equipment to film on the sidelines like SpeedQB and NSL, but they've taken that NSL live streaming technique with a solid commentator. I don't know if you watched the CSL and Black Sheep Airsoft, I believe. There was the CSL event in Virginia. That just happened. Murder Inc. has won both of their CSL events this year, so they're back-to-back defending champions at CSL regionals. So they played once in Rhode Island. That was their start. Then the second tournament was in Virginia. The third one is going to be down here in Tampa in August. So after NSL is done, we're going to prepare for that. But I got a little sidetracked. But I was talking about the live streaming capabilities. They took that live stream and they put a commentator on it, and they're commentating the games. It's not as flashy or high quality as the NSL, but at least it's something that allows people to watch. Because I talked to some of the guys that went to that event, and their tournament field was kind of closed off, and you couldn't look inside if you were at the event. So you couldn't spectate and watch the games if you were at the event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the only way you would be able to watch from the event is through your phone. But that's just the CSL couldn't do anything about that.
Right. I mean, that's part of the venue.
Right, it's just a venue issue. But I feel like they're going to fix it since the field is relatively new, I feel like.
I think that that's probably the next step. They've got to get so you got NSL taking it to like a more professional level on both spectrums with the the live stream, the video stuff, the interviews, on field interviews. You got and then of course the gameplay is way more professional than as far as how the tournaments run, the rules, all that kind of stuff. And then the next step is to get some spectating on the field, spectating. So if these venues could build some kind of way, bleachers or stands or something where people don't just have to stand behind some plexiglass, but they could actually, sit and watch.
Right. And I remember us having this conversation last time. Is we as in competitive indoor airsoft we have that plexiglass there to where you can spectate. Now in the backstaging area where all of the people that want to play on the competitive field come in during our scrimmages, and when we host the tournaments, they'll stand up on where people would stage, but we have chairs and whatnot that you can stand up and look over the wall, and you can see everything that's going on the field. And we also have like ref towers where the refs can sit down, like 2 head refs can sit down and look down. And then we have guys that are on the field following everybody, which CSL has also done in comparison with NSL. So they're similar. They have their refs following the players, which is great. I hope to see SpeedQB do this during this upcoming season because they changed their rules and their format almost entirely from what I've read so far.
Yeah.
They went from the standard center flag, it doesn't move, just fight for it, your point, standard point system. Now you can move it. Now the team that wins the round, I'm not 100% certain on this because I just briefly read the rules. Going to read them more before we get into it. But there's certain areas that you can place the flag before the game starts. It's a designated area, but you can choose where it's at. And in turn, it's going to change up how people play and the strategy you need to use to get to the flag the fastest and get those bonus points for pulling it first. I'm excited to see how it's going to play out this season because it's brand new.
So
the good thing about SpeedQB is they're always trying to change things.
Right, to make it more interesting or more fun or interactive. So how was it before? So when where does the flag start? Right in the middle?
Right in the middle of the field. It's a center X barrier.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's on top of there, and you slide in.
So with this new thing, so it's got to be placed on the 50-yard line. Like it's got to be
somewhere around there, I believe.
Or else,
one of them,
it can't be an advantage,
from what I've seen, it's a snake. So you can put the flag in the snake side of the field on some little flag spot, or you can put it on the other side of the field, what might be the Dorito side, if they model their field layout similar to paintball. Because we've seen their new layout in Tac City. It's actually a really cool layout. They've designed some new barriers. They're still geometrical barriers and not really organic besides their cylinders. But instead of a rectangular prism, they've carved out like a wedge in there. So you have that tall rectangular prism still, and in the same barrier there's a point where it's like a shelf. They can stand behind that small portion of the tall barrier and then peek out over the shelf that is created with that wedge. It's kind of cool and innovative. Yeah. And hopefully they do some things like that with our field. I mean, granted, we have to build the barriers if they do that, but hey, if we got to do that, then I'm for it, and I will help in any way that I can.
So you play your team. You guys play all these different styles of tournaments. So you play there's different rules with CSL, NSL, SpeedQB, different game modes or different kind of game setup, right?
Right.
So what do you think? Like which one do you guys prefer? And
right now, there's not really a preference. We don't have a preference. I mean, granted, we did start with SpeedQB, so I guess some of the guys would prefer that. Because NSL, the way they've designed the field, and you've seen it, is challenging. And it promotes aggressive gameplay, because if you sit in the back for too long, the game happens too fast to do that. You can't sit back and wait for people to come to you, because your team is expendable, because you don't lose any points or gain points for killing people, or you don't lose any points for getting killed.
Just how far down the field you progress.
You put that forward pressure in the most efficient and effective way to get that flag or to get the snatch. So it's really fast, and the barriers aren't really designed for you to stay and chill at them for the whole game. There's only one barrier that I know that some guys will sit at for a majority of the game, or the point. That's that we call it the Aztec barrier. It's the one that's not second closest to the plexiglass barrier.
Okay.
It's the Dorito barrier that's turned horizontally instead of vertically.
Gotcha.
So it's a wider, more safer spot. and is a very, very crucial barrier to play. But I'm not going to get into strategy right now since we do have that June tournament coming up in less than a month
release your
now.
secrets, man.
Not going to release the secrets, but I'm planning on it after the season.
Okay.
As like in-depth game review, talking about strategy and how to possibly change the way you think when you're on the field, because that's what I see a lot of new teams struggle is finding out that strategy. They just keep repeating the same thing over and over again with no result, and they just lack that one piece of advice, and that is stay adaptable, because you could play a team that does the same thing over and over again, and if you keep changing your strategy while they keep doing the same thing over and over again, you're going to wipe them completely off the board.
Well, they'll be predictable.
Exactly. So then you can just slightly change your game plan. You can keep 4 guys doing the same thing and have one guy switch it up every time. And then some teams won't be able to compute what's going on. They're like, oh, change.
Yeah.
All apart. Break.
Like, wait a minute. I thought they were we defend against this, and they're doing that.
Right. Because you have the 4 guys that are doing the same thing, keeping everybody else preoccupied while that one guy is doing his different thing and catching everybody off guard.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
like
kind of what
with the calling an audible or something. Switch it up.
Right.
Yeah.
And an attempt. It's like psychological warfare at that point. It's an attempt to throw the other team off their game. They're like, whoa, because you don't even think about it. It's all subconscious.
Right.
And that's how fast it happens. You have to be on your toes in NSL at all times. I mean, it's 15-minute game clock, which they are increasing it from that 10 to 15-minute for the Nationals. But when we went to we went in March up to Rhode Island, and the games all the way up to the semis and finals were 10 minutes.
Okay.
So we got 5 extra minutes of game time, and a lot can happen in those 5 minutes.
Right.
And I'm going to summarize what we did in the last 2 events. So in Tampa, we played Tacos, a seasoned team in NSL.
Yeah, shout out.
Adam, who is also he's the captain of Team USA, and that's where I met him in person and was able to establish that connection. And that's how I got on to the team, is we talked about that. And I expressed my interest, and that's how I get picked up.
Nice.
But I feel like another factor in me getting picked up, as well as Anthony also got picked up for Team USA.
Oh, cool. Shout out Anthony.
Yeah,
right.
Shout out. We played Tacos first.
Yeah.
When we actually put up a really good fight, and we almost beat them. The reason we didn't is we pressed the early buzzer. So we pressed the buzzer early, and we actually gave them a free 12 points to put them in the lead.
Wait, what now? How does that?
So
what happened with that?
If you press the buzzer early, so once all your teammates are dead, you press a buzzer, and that cuts the game clock and gives the enemy team 3 seconds to either move the flag as far down the field as possible,
or touch the wall,
or or get a snatch if they're on defense. But in this case, they were on offense, and our defensive guys were dead, and there's one guy left. And I think it was me. I remember it. I think I pressed it.
Yeah.
Because
you thought everyone was dead.
Because Ant came off the field after he got shot, and he was like signaling me to press the buzzer, and him and I talked about this, and I pressed it. And then I looked to my left. It was a blind spot of the wall.
Yeah.
Dom was sitting in the back, what we call the 90, which is like that back left.
Mm-hmm.
And I look, and he's still alive, and it gave them an additional 12 points. So they give them the flag hang, and it gives them the snap, or the 2-point conversion. So they get 14 points off that. Put them in the lead. Offense goes out. We're about to, we score on them. But one of my guys picked up a first-degree game-altering penalty because it was in the last 30 seconds.
Okay.
Just, it happens.
Right.
The way it happened, like you saw it on the live stream, and it shouldn't have been called. We came to that conclusion. But
yeah,
I feel like everything happens for a reason. We lose the game, but we shocked them. They thought they were going to run through us.
Right.
And it was a nail biter for them. It was like I think Adam said it was a wake-up call.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be said for a lot of teams. You can't really underestimate a team.
Right.
For what they're worth compared to you, because they've been in the game for so long, and we were brand new. So that underestimation factor almost cost them the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went on to play a few other teams, which we had no issue with. Scored on them a bunch. And then we played East Coast Energy.
Oh,
and
cool.
We played East Coast Energy. We beat them. And then I ended up bruising my heel. I bruised the bone in my heel.
Ooh.
I slid into the wall to get the hang.
Yeah.
Which I did. I got the hang, but the shoes that I were wearing at the time were too small and compressing my feet to the point where it was just a lot of pressure on them. And then my heel hit the wall, bruised the bone. I couldn't put any pressure on it without excruciating pain.
What kind of shoes were you wearing?
I was wearing Kobe's. They were good basketball shoes.
Yeah.
But they were 2 sizes too small.
Jeez.
I've been wearing them for years.
Okay, so they were broke in.
They were broke in and stretched out, but they can only stretch out so much.
Right.
And I was just being ignorant and not getting new shoes. And I spent the rest of the tournament in the lobby with my foot in ice cold water.
Mm-hmm.
It was an experience. But the next day, I came in, next day being Sunday, came in, we did what we needed to do. We lost against Elite in the semifinal match.
Okay.
By 3 points. They couldn't score on us. They ran the clock. Our defense had shaved 9 minutes off the clock. And we only had 47 seconds left in the game before offense went out and couldn't do anything. It was a learning experience. Then we knew that time was our biggest enemy at that point. And then we thought we solved that problem, and then it ended up being another issue in Rhode Island. So we did okay in Rhode Island. Just that trip in general was a learning experience for everybody, learning how to travel with one another.
Gotcha.
And learning how to deal with some problems, because we shipped our gear up there.
Yeah.
A couple weeks before.
What'd you do? Ship it to the field?
We shipped it
you probably shipped it to Anthony's.
Yeah. We
family.
shipped it to Anthony's parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
The shit in there arrived mostly broken.
Oh, jeez.
So
who packed this, bro? Who packed it? Okay. You didn't wrap it.
Our guys packed it, but it wasn't about the guys who packed it. It was about how our packages were treated during the transit process. They were beat to shit.
Now, look here, okay? I've shipped things all over the world. When we were doing giveaways, I learned the first time, okay? bro. Those guys are drop kicking those boxes. Okay.
Yes.
Oh my
They even
god.
gave it away in Ace Ventura, the Pet Detective opening scene, where he's just beating the shit out of the UPS
Yes.
package.
That's it.
That's how I imagined the worker that drove it,
Uh-huh.
or just kicked it all over the place. And
That's
apparently,
crazy.
when it got to Anthony's mom's house, she went outside to like help him unload, and he was just dropping shit,
Oh, Jesus.
breaking shit. Like our tanks were fucked up. One of our
that's
guys'
bad.
guns were in a tizzy, but it wasn't as bad as most of us thought it was. It was a lot of fixable things.
Okay.
The gun, all it was a screw came loose, and all of the tanks most of the tanks were chipped. I mean, yeah, we had to buy tanks to replace them with, but those are easily replaceable. So that messed up the mental state a lot.
Right, sure.
But we played.
Now, what would you do next time to fix
So,
it? Either
as we're going up to Rhode Island in June, we're not shipping our items because we shipped them back down and we lost a box. So a box was lost in transit. A whole box with one of our players' guns in it. So one of our players is gun over close to $1,000 in value. The package was over, I forget the monetary value, but it was some expense. Just lost. Like, how do you lose a box that's huge? It was a huge box.
Oh, Jesus.
And I don't know.
Well,
we're driving up with all of our gear this time.
Okay. I was going to say either. I mean, you could take it on the plane. Who did I just talk with? We went over. I asked him specifically because this was like 2 weeks ago. This podcast came out. Gosh, who was it? They said they flew somewhere and they took all their gear with them, guns and everything. And I said, okay, let's go over this real quick because this is a common question that I get on here about, or at least a concern that people bring up, that haven't traveled with other airsoft gear when they have to fly. And he's like, yeah, it was no big deal. Like I took it, and I said, so did you just walk into the airport with a gun case? He's like, yeah. It's like, it's no big deal. So you have to have it in you can look online, I guess, on the, most gun cases are okay. Like, it has to be a decent one that's not going to break.
Right.
But yeah, you just put it in there, and then they'll check it, and then all your tanks have to be completely empty. They can't have not one, ounce of pressure in there, and but that's it. He's like, it was no big deal. I said, okay. He goes, yeah, I would do it again. I said, okay, because there's a big, that's a big deal, or a lot of people show a lot of concern about. I don't know if I want to fly with my guns because I don't want them to break it or lose it. He's like, nah, man, it was fine. But anyway,
right.
Yeah.
One of our guys who lives in Georgia is named Zion. He flew down with his gear. I mean, he has a crate, he has a gun case.
Yeah.
And he flies with his stuff, no problem. Just the issue was with the majority of us didn't have the right gun cases.
Yeah.
Nor the funds to purchase gun cases that would fit our belongings in there, and let alone, pay extra to possibly fly with them. Because we flew with Frontier, wasn't the greatest option.
Yeah.
So we had to pay a lot of fees out of pocket. We had to pay for carry-on.
You pay,
they were,
like, a la carte almost, like you pay extra for this little thing or that add-on.
That's exactly how it was.
Gotcha.
But like I said, it was a learning experience. We learned, we're going to grow. Going back to Rhode Island, we're driving to eliminate any issues, people's things being broken or going missing.
Yeah.
Some of us are flying, Ant's flying up there, and I think the rest of us are driving. Canyon's also flying up there. But we're driving. So Mikey, one of the owners of CIA, and now one of the coaches for Team USA, we are driving up together with a majority of the people's gear, and a guy named Andrew on my team is rented a van and taking a bunch of people all the way up from here to Rhode Island.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I mean, so you have
It's just a
to
little fun
consider
road trip.
for somebody considering, and learning from your experience. So you've got a couple things to write down on a list, let's say, that you could have changed. So you could have changed your what company you use to ship your stuff.
Yep,
You
we
could have
use FedEx.
changed. Really?
Yep.
I am shocked.
Me too.
Okay. I am shocked. Damn. Well, yeah. I was gonna
Yeah.
say if you used mail service or
Or
UPS.
UPS.
You know what's weird? Bro, when I first started shipping stuff around the globe for these giveaways, I was like, all right, I'm gonna use FedEx. Didn't have a problem, but it's a little more expensive.
Right.
But I was like, well, I'm gonna try USPS because it was a lot easier to set up. Listen, bro, I've shipped probably 30 items. Okay, guns, even in like long guns too, like giant. These mystery boxes, how they come. And
Yeah.
So I think I had one problem with UPS. The box was destroyed. Okay, and the gun got there okay. The gun was heavy duty. It was
Right.
it was a Tommy gun. It was a Thompson, and the drum mag was missing. There was a giant gash in the box. Drum mag was missing, but the gun was safe. So I bought the guy that won. He lived in California. I bought him the same drum mag from Evic,
Right.
and had it shipped to his house. But anyway, that was for one of the giveaways. But all the other ones from USPS, even around the world, were fine. I could not believe it. I swear to God, dude. I'm going to tell you what's weird. All these big ass boxes. Okay. And by the way, I got free boxes. That's why I signed up for them, because they gave you free supplies. So I was like, yeah, let me try it out. So I did 2 of them. I was like, holy shit, this is good. Tracking was great. And so anyway, 2 things. One was going to Ireland. Shout out Cue Ball if you ever listen to this. It took a hell of a long time. Okay. And we looked at the
Months?
tracking. It was like, I think it's, like 6 weeks. All right.
Yeesh,
So,
jeez.
listen, it went from South Carolina to New Jersey for, whatever the port is there that they ship out of, customs thing, whatever. And then to Florida or somewhere in the South. I was like, wait, what? And then overseas, it was gone for, it was off tracking for a while. And then it finally shows up days later on the tracking thing, was in Ireland. Okay. And then it wasn't in Ireland. It goes to Jamaica. Then it came back to the state. I swear to God, bro. It was this long ass list of tracking. And it took 6 weeks. He finally got it. But it went to Ireland, Jamaica, back to here, to New Jersey port, and then back over to Ireland, and he finally got it. So that was one issue with them. But I've never had a box lost or damaged with USPS. And I'm not promoting that. I'm just saying I've had some decent luck with it. But
I feel like they force their guys to be like the men and women who ship them, like during that process, to keep them in as best shape as possible, which I commend, really, because it's just a lot of people out there that do stuff like that don't really care. They're just doing it to make money.
for a few years before they changed, they had a lot of flack. Like, I mean, everyone knew the Postal Service sucks. Postal Service
Right.
sucks. So they had this reputation. Well, they were going, this is years ago, I guess 3-4 years ago, maybe longer than that. They were looking for, their funding was about to be cut.
Are you tired of the same old, impersonal airsoft experience? Looking for a place that feels like home? Look no further than TNT Airsoft, where we treat you like family. At TNT Airsoft, we're not just another airsoft field. We're a family-run business that knows how to make your airsoft experience truly unforgettable. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a first-time player, our dedicated staff is here to ensure you have a blast. From the moment you step onto our field, you'll feel the warmth and camaraderie that only a family-run business can provide. And the best part? Our community is like no other. You'll make lifelong friends who share the same passion for airsoft as you do. TNT Airsoft isn't just a place to play and shop. It's a place where memories are made, where bonds are formed, and where you become part of our extended family, so don't settle for an average airsoft experience. Join the TNT Airsoft family today and discover a whole new level of excitement, camaraderie, and fun. Check us out online at tntairsoft.net.
And they were like, oh shit, like we better clean up our act. And I think that's kind of what happened. They got stricter on the thing. This is when they started offering the free boxes. They're not really free. I'm really paying for it. You and I,
Right.
with our taxes, indirectly. But, you know, it's...
Don't remind me.
That's a whole other debacle.
Yeah.
So anyway, get back to my point. It is, so you've got some variables to look at. So if you're going to ship your stuff, you can't rely on any of these services to treat your box with respect. And
Right.
also there could be the off chance that it's, you know,
Missing.
an honest mistake. So maybe it gets shipped somewhere else, or maybe it gets stepped on, or maybe that, you know, it falls off in the truck. It could be an honest,
Right.
you know, human error mistake, but, so that's one thing to consider. So definitely do some extra things to wrap your products really, really good.
Right.
You know, the bubble wrap stuff works. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, we
the
did
bubble
wrap
wrap.
everything in bubble wrap.
Yeah, the bubble wrap that you can wrap individual items, that works
Mhm.
good. The paper, right, that thick brown paper, that
Right,
works
packing
great.
paper, right.
But I'm going to tell you what does not work, and a lot of people try to use, is the big, you know, air sealed bags or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
So,
I know what
you
you're
know, they
talking
come in
about.
our Amazon boxes or whatever. Now, those will work
Yes.
on light, very light items. But if it's anything with weight, those
It'll
do not
puncture
hold
'em, right?
anything. It
They'll
just, well, it won't pop. It will, it doesn't hold them. Even if you got the box super tight, you have to squeeze it in there. Those things have too much, there's too much empty space
Right.
for that item to move around. So I remember one of the my sons were trying. I was like, "Hey, get this box ready to ship overseas." And instead of wrapping all this stuff like, you know, individually, because I would wrap the gun, the whole gun in bubble wrap, if
Right.
it didn't have one of those foam inserts. Now the foam inserts are great, but the individual items and stuff you got to wrap up. But yeah, so that's something to consider. Or driving, or flying, or no matter which way you do it, it's expensive.
Yes.
There's some costs involved. You're going to have to either pay extra for shipping, you're going to have to pay extra to rent a van to drive up there with all your gear, or buy good gun cases to bring them on the plane and pay extra. Either way, whichever one you choose, is going to be, it's not really that convenient, and it's going to cost some extra money. Like, that's just the way it is.
Just the way the world works, man.
Oh, for sure.
Everything's a little extra. But I would pay a little extra to ensure the safety of all the guns and gear and equipment that
You
needs to
don't
be
want to
shipped.
lose.
And you don't need to lose anything.
You don't want to lose a damn, a really nice tournament level airsoft pistol that,
Right. He
you know, is
gone.
worth, that you put, you know, 2 years into building, and $2,500. That is, you know, yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
And it puts, just subconsciously, it just puts you in this bad spot.
Yeah, demoralizing.
And you don't really play as well. So thankfully, all of our guns did get there.
Yeah.
And everything. And we fixed everything before the tournament.
Good.
But I feel like subconsciously, not all of us were in the right headspace
Right.
when we were playing mid-game. Because we
Gotcha.
had some really good games. And we had some not super bad games, but games that we just made the simple mistakes in.
Sure.
Not watching the clock. zero communication, not moving the flag down the field, making some last minute changes that didn't need to be made, and just the list can go on of just the little things, because the little things will stack.
Yeah.
Little things will
Would
stack.
you say the clock for the NSL tournaments, is that one of the biggest differences that affects your gameplay style and your gameplay?
100%.
Can
Yes,
bite
it
you in the
does.
ass compared to the
Yes, it
other
does.
tournaments? Yeah. Okay.
Because it's a continuous game clock that lasts throughout this battle between your team and the other.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use the 15-minute game clock, for example. You have 15 minutes to score as many points
Yep.
against the enemy team as possible. If you get 50 points, if there's a 50-point differential between you and that enemy team, it's a mercy rule.
Oh.
We mercy ruled all the teams we did beat in Rhode Island were mercy ruled.
Gotcha.
There might be an exception there, but majority of the teams we beat in Rhode Island were mercy rule. We got the second most flag hangs, and I was the unofficial 1v1 champion of that event. I only lost 1 or 2 1v1s in that whole thing, and I was 1v1ing the whole event.
Yeah.
I was known for the 1v1s.
Awesome.
In that one.
Okay.
Took a little pride in that.
Speaking of
that,
I
treat
have
it.
You heard of,
have I heard of what?
Heard of the X1?
I have. I would go and play in that. The problem is the distance between myself and that event, because it's all the way up in
it's huge. Indiana.
Yeah,
shot zone.
So Tampa to shot zone. I mean, I'd be flying up there constantly to play in those events. Yeah. And right now, I mean, I'm currently working on it, but I don't have the kind of funding to go up there as much as I would like to. I haven't even been up and played on that field before. It would be an experience. I'd love to go up there and see what I have compared to what everybody else.
Sure.
What I have being the skill compared to everybody else. I feel like I would put up a very, very, very good fight against a lot of the people up there. That
you hear that, Akimbo? You got Luke over here he's coming for you, okay?
Sure, we'll set up a date. You can come down here if you can, and I'll try to work on coming up there, and we'll just see who's got it.
Yeah,
because I'm known for my 1v1s.
Seeker, they're now Seeker is the one that that runs it, that started it, the 1v1s over there. But Akimbo, they're both in Nashville area, so they could come down to CIA Tampa.
I met Akimbo when he came to our SpeedQB tournament. He's a cool guy. Yeah. We didn't talk very much, but it was a brief conversation, but it was a good one.
Right. Let me ask you this on so the NSL, there were 5 tournaments in 5 different locations, is that right?
4. So
4, okay.
1 in Indiana, 1 in Tampa, 1 in Rhode Island. Last seeding tournament was in Sac County. SCA ended up winning that one. So the champions for each, Elite won back-to-back the first 2 events. Yeah. The third event, East Coast Energy won in Rhode Island. The fourth event, Sacramento County Airsoft, the team SCA, won that event.
Okay.
So all of those teams are going to go up, including Obey, going to go up in June and compete against one another. I'm excited.
Back at Extreme.
Back at Extreme. Mm-hmm. We all get one last go for all the marbles.
Nice.
Because you have to take the seeding tournaments as the learning experiences. Because that's how I taught SpeedQB. I taught them, the people who are on Obey now, that the regional qualifying tournaments that we play during the season, just learn. There's low stakes. There's no stake. You're not winning anything. Yeah, if you win a regional qualifier, you won a regional qualifier. But what really matters is the championship games. Those are the ones that really matter. So you can't really beat yourself up for not winning a seeding event. I mean, yeah, it would be nice to see yourself high up on the leaderboards,
Sure.
but we will see who takes the
Now, does it
number
hurt?
one.
Did it hurt any other team? Did it hurt teams to not, like, if they couldn't make it to every one of those events? Does it put you back or no?
Kind of. If we
Okay.
played, I feel like we'd be a lot higher, a lot higher, probably in that third
So go over. You
third
went out.
position.
You guys, you played the second one at your hometown, your home field,
Right.
CIA Tampa, and then what? Up in Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. So that's 2 out of
And
the
that
4.
was 2 months later.
Nope, 1 month.
Oh no, that was 1 month. Okay,
That's
that's
February,
right. It was
March.
right after that. Mm-hmm. All right, so you. Oh, you didn't miss one in between. You just missed the one in SEC.
We played the 2 tournaments that were in the middle of the season.
Right.
So you had that Indiana
shot zone. Yep.
Then that Tampa, Rhode Island.
Then
Sac County. Elite didn't even fly out there for that one, since they won 2 events that put them so high up in the leaderboard that they didn't need to go and play as a team. But I remember Pops and Shorty ended up going out there to help a new team out, which was nice of them to do. ATBH is the name. Shout out to them.
Nice. Yeah, so it does. So it did. I guess what I'm getting at is it worth a team? Is it worth it for a team to start play in that tournament, even if they know going into it that they can't make all of the
points
locations? Yeah.
Or they can't make all the locations.
Mm-hmm.
If you do well enough, you don't have to worry about traveling. Because that was one thing that we knew going into this, is that we were going to do well enough, regardless of what was happening, that we didn't have to travel to every single event. And which, I mean, turned out to be true. So we could miss 2 events. And even the guys that ran NSL, they were like, you don't have to make every single event to qualify, because there are some teams that are in the leaderboards that got bottom, that have only showed up to 1 event, and they're invited, and they didn't even get any they have 15 points and they get invited. Because not everybody on that leaderboard, like the bottom teams on the leaderboard, only got the 15 points for showing up.
Okay.
Because if you didn't win, if you didn't get second, third, fourth, through whatever, you were awarded 15 seeding points regardless. So if you kept that up across 4 tournaments, you would have 60 points.
Okay.
And
so at the end of it
wasn't really worth it.
So let's say, what would be the difference if you guys went to everyone? So let's say you went to the shot zone, then you played at CIA, then you went to Extreme. How would it have changed? What would have changed for you? Like who you play against in the final? Okay.
Well, it doesn't really change who we play against in the championship, like the national championship. It changes the environment. Play against in that region.
Yeah. Okay.
The different field style, because it's different when you play at CIA all the time, and then you go up to Extreme. Then you're like, oh my gosh, here's Extreme. Then it would be the same thing if we went to Indiana. Okay, new turf. We got turf now instead of concrete. Now we got inflatables instead of inflatables instead of wood barriers that are carpeted.
And you can't move the barriers.
Right.
But
and then you go to Sac County, and then it's nice over there. They redid everything to make it look extremely, extremely professional. It's a different environment, different cultures that you're going to experience.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't get to see that field over there.
Me neither. I haven't been over to Sac County. I've been over to N1 and Tax City.
Yeah.
Really, really like N1. The guys over there are really good. Great hospitality over there. but they have that speed field, and they host the Syndicate Union. That's that West Coast tournament style format. It's really cool. I hope to see the Syndicate Union branch out across the United States and hopefully end up somewhere over here, because I'd love to try that format where you get the coach on the side telling where everybody's at, and then you can see the point if you're not doing well, and then you get to try again. You got respawns. It's a whole different thing, and it forces you to think outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And then once you do that, you figure out how to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Then you really, really, like, as you diversify your resume as far as how many formats you've played, what you need to learn in order to play in that format. You have all of this knowledge. And the more knowledge you have and the more game IQ you have, and some of it is transferable between formats.
Right.
It's killer. And you can see it in some teams who have the more experience in playing more different formats. And just play every day or play whenever they can in general.
Right.
I'm going to talk a little bit of smack about my team right now.
Yeah.
Is what we don't
Let's hear it.
play enough. Like, we have our practices.
Gotcha.
But there are some people on the team that don't play as much as they should whenever they have the time. And it's all about, I'm too tired, I don't feel like it. That isn't the mindset. That isn't a winner's mindset. Winners are going to do something even though they don't feel like it. And I've changed my whole perspective on how I look at things now. I've had this epiphany. Just woke up one day and I've been trying to get out of this loop, controlling how I think about things. And I'm finally starting to get the hang of it and just doing things, just little things that I don't feel like doing, just so I can say I did it even though I don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
And that's like, I go to work. I work at CIA. I've had people tell me that you shouldn't work or pursue something that you like because it's gonna ruin it. Like, how is it gonna ruin it? It
Wait,
makes
what?
it even. So, like, I don't know how to explain it. People
Don't
told me
pursue something you like.
that because it's gonna ruin it, like a job. So, like, I like Airsoft.
Yeah.
I got a job in that field. That's
I
getting
see
a
what
job
you're
in the
saying.
field
I
of
see what
something
you're
you're
saying.
passionate about.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's gonna ruin it. I don't understand how it's gonna ruin it.
Well, because it makes it, once it becomes work, like drudgery, I could see that. It's mostly if you like doing something, it's like this, bro. You really love playing Airsoft, okay?
Right.
But now somebody's telling you, like, you got a boss, right? Or a teacher or a coach or whatever it is that's telling you have to play every day and be out here every day, okay? Do that for like 5 years. You might get burned out. You might not. You might, it might drive you to be better. But some people, not everyone's like that, because they get into it once, because they're just dabbling in it here and there. And then they go, yeah, I really like doing this. Well, do it every day. Not just do it every day on your terms, but do it how somebody's telling you to do it. And, that happens. It's with everything, So I guess I can, I kind of feel, I can relate to that statement in that sense. But if it's about, like, well, I mean, if you're never going to try, then what's the point? Like, you got to try at least. Like, don't just not do anything in life because of that statement, that kind of mindset. Like, you don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. You have to go out there and you have to figure it out. You might be the one that's going to be the
fucking Michael Jordan of Airsoft. Who knows? You might.
Right. That's why I do this. That's why I do this shit.
That's
why I do this shit. I feel like I'm on track.
I feel like I'm on track. You have that drive. You have that passion. You still enjoy it. Okay. You even though there's a lot of work involved, there's this and that, there's whatever, figuring out, running a team and traveling and all these different things. These are obstacles. Yeah, it takes work to overcome. Those aren't fun. That's not
Oh,
fun to
trust me,
figure
it's
out.
not.
It's not fun to figure out ship your shit somewhere and it breaks. Okay. That's not the fun part of it, but you're all into this. Like you're going, it's good. Like this is what's driving you. So you have that, but I'm going to tell you what I found, bro. So many people I talk with in Airsoft, especially in Speedsoft, they get on a team, they become like you, right? They're very passionate. Like, oh shit, I really like this. Okay, I don't want to just play casually. I want to test my mettle against another team. So now you go to a little tournament that's not really run that great. It's kind of like lower level. You're like, okay, this is cool. I want better. I want more. I want harder. And then you go. Now the team you got on, now you're like, as far as passionate level goes, you're up here. And the rest of your team's like, no, man, we're good just playing this, little tournament right here. That's the most common thing I've found with Speedsofters. It's very difficult for the cream of the crop. These guys that really want, and I'm not saying it as if the other guys aren't good. It's just that that
They don't want
commitment
to take
level,
the
that
next
passion level.
step. They don't want to take the next
It's
steps.
hard to find a full team like that. And I think it's because Airsoft is not a national sport. It's not really
isn't.
like an organized sport. So
Yet.
you don't have this funnel system from elementary school, high school, whatever, like college, kind of funneling people into this. It's not recognized. So you just have random people showing up. You got, a 15-year-old playing with a 30-year-old. Like there's no, what I'm saying?
13-year-old playing with a 50-year-old. That's literally what we got going on right now.
So it's very difficult for guys like yourself, from what I've seen and what I've heard, to find a full team that is as passionate as you are about practicing, about getting better, about, hey, we're going to do these drills. I don't really want to do these drills, bro. I'm playing Call of Duty today, okay? Like, what's the big deal? Like, so that shit is real.
Like that.
That struggle is real. It's hard to find the people that are most committed.
It gives me the opportunity to learn how to deal with shit like that.
Yeah.
And in turn, it makes me stronger mentally.
Sure.
I get to grow as a man. I get to figure things out. And it's a stressful position. I'm not going to lie. So being in the position that I'm in on my team is stressful. And I really appreciate the guys on my team who are trying to make it as less stressful as possible.
Right.
But I had a conversation with my guys. It was a couple days ago on Sunday. They were trying to assign all these roles, pitching me ideas on how to relieve the stress and how I can think about me and how I'm playing so I don't have to worry about everybody else. But I'm like, I really appreciate that. And granted, like, I'm considering it, but I'm also thinking about, like, I have a lot of things to think about, and if I train myself to delegate that thinking time in a more efficient way, so I can actually think about myself while I got all these other things going on, I can cut it out for a set time when I really need to focus on myself and how I need to play for a game, and play at the top of my ability while still having all these other little issues and things that I have to micromanage. I'm going to be a killer. I'm just going to put it like that. Once I get good at, I'm young, I'm 21 years old. Once I get good at shit like that, I will be a stone cold killer, and people are going to be like, oh shit, that's Luke. He's here. Oh shit. Oh, like that's going to, every team, oh shit. That is what I'm striving for in this game, is that, oh shit, because this is my shit. I'm young. I have so much more life ahead of me. I'm trying to be the most successful person ever. I'm doing a lot of shit outside the game. I'm changing my whole lifestyle to be the most efficient person, grow myself, and help other people around me that I care about grow in the same manner. Yeah. And try to achieve the same mindset as me. So I don't like lose focus, because it's really easy to lose focus, especially in the game. Like when you're playing, there's a million things going on, and you can lose focus fast. Like somebody on the sidelines is doing something crazy, trying to distract you, and you're not like locked in, or you got other things on your mind that you're thinking about. And that is like a basic fundamental principle that I preach to everybody that wants to play competitive airsoft is you have to have your mind clear.
Yeah.
When you're playing, or you're not going to perform. Like I can go back to an example of the February tournament where I bruised my heel. I was in denial. I wanted to keep playing, especially against Elite Airsoft. I wanted to play. I've been itching to play them.
Yeah.
Like they are so solid group of guys. Shout out to everybody on that team. They're so nice, cool, and easy to hang out with. And we made a lot of friends. Like we've made friends with them just by hanging outside. But I wanted to play them, and I was hurt, and I couldn't focus on the game because I was hurt. And like I was just getting shot, and I was upset because I was hurt. I couldn't think right.
You couldn't move right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't play
at
100%.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't feel like playing too, that's another thing. There are days, being 100% honest, where I don't feel like doing something. And everybody has those days where they wake up and I'm like, oh, like today I woke up and I was like, I don't want to go to the gym, but I went, and I'm here now. I'm glad I went to the gym, but there are days when I don't want to practice. Then I think to myself, it's like, it's your mind playing tricks on you. I'm thinking to myself, like, if I don't go to practice, who is going to make sure everybody's doing what they need to do?
Yeah.
I can count the times I've missed practice on my fingers on one hand that I've had to miss practice, and 9 times out of 10, it was due to an extenuating circumstance. I had, like, last practice, so this last Sunday, I woke up early in the morning. I was in Georgia. I woke up early in the morning to drive home as in, so from Georgia to here, home.
Right.
Do what I need to do as soon as I got home. I got home at like 2. We had practice at 5, so I had a 3-hour gap. But then my check engine light came on, so I had to go fix that. I had to go fix this. I had to unpack everything, make sure everything was good. I had to make sure nothing was broken or everything was right. When I got home, had to eat something. Then I go, like I didn't eat anything when I woke up. I just got on the road and went. So when I got here, I had a bunch of things to do. I had to get everything done. I didn't want to do anything. I just want to sit down. I was a little tired and just sit there and not do anything. But I have responsibilities, and I have things that I have to do in order to become the person that I want to be in this sport and to become the person that I want to be in this life of mine.
Yeah.
And I had to, like, Mason. So I'm shout out Lil Mace. But the first practice that we had back after Mother's Day, because we took 2 practices off, we moved the dates from Sunday to Thursday to accommodate, which we had extremely low turnouts, extremely disappointed. Some people had good reasons and others didn't. But the people that showed up, and we made the best of it. And I kind of gave them as a reward. We just played CQB. And then when I told the people that we did that, they're like, oh. Yeah, I was like, it was kind of expected. But, just a little fun thing. It's like, yeah, we want to have some fun. I was like, it's not going to be fun. Like, it's not fun on the path to success. It can be fun at certain points.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be fun the whole way. And that's what I've been told by one of my mentors, is that the path to success is never going to be easy, and it's going to be is the hardest path. That's why you have very few people that are successful in their own fields, is because not everybody wants to take that extremely hard path. That's why it's called the top 1%, because only 1% of people want to take that route, and that hard pain suffering. It sucks. So
and it's
like,
not as, I mean, it's a marathon, and this is something I've heard of. All these different kind of successful business strategies or success principles. Is one thing is, like you said, it's not going to be. It's always going to be the hardest path. So that doesn't mean you're not going to enjoy it. Sometimes, we enjoy that challenge. That depends on the person. So it depends on what it is, and depends on your mood that day. So
yeah,
when you wake up
and let my mood influence what I do.
Yeah,
That's one of the things I'm learning how to do.
It'll be it can affect your the intensity of how you do something. So you're not going to have the best workout every single time you work out.
Oh yeah,
it's impossible. There's different things that with your body recovering or whatever. That's one example. But it's the same thing with mental stuff, with emotional stuff. So there's always a good principles to establish for yourself. And one that's really, really common is, if you're trying to be successful, you have to work with other people. That's just part of it. You cannot be successful. You can be successful in here on your own, by yourself, in here, mental toughness. Okay. You can do that on your own. But if you're going to build a business, it takes other people. So
of course,
which means majority of your time is going to be given to other people. That's what's going to happen to your business, to your people, to your team, to your parents, to your social events, or whatever, that happens in life. So the best thing to do is get your time in the morning before you give it out to everyone else. You got to fill your own cup first. You have to fill up before you can give it out. And a good practice, why it's such a common success principle, is getting up early, taking care of all of your stuff in the morning, meditation, working out, feeding your body and mind and soul, whatever you need to get that day going, to where you can now I feel I'm fulfilled and I'm filled. So now I can go give it out. And if you get behind on that part, if you don't make that a really, really strict discipline in your life every day, you'll notice the days that you miss that. You'll be stretched thin when you're given, because look, your business ain't going to take time off. Time doesn't stop. Your people ain't going to take time off. You're always going to have people pulling from you. Okay. That need you, that need this. Hey, what are we doing today? You started this thing. What the fuck, bro? You can't have an off day. So you're like, oh, fuck. Holy shit, man. Oh, I know how I feel like this. I didn't do my shit this morning. Okay. You got to take care of yourself.
Right.
It does, man. It can get, you got to have that discipline to figure out, okay, what is the most important things I have to do today? What can wait till tomorrow, and what needs to be done today, and prioritize that list every day. And, with these podcasts, I just started doing that same mindset. Yeah. I had to make it important to me. And it is, I want to
block out that time.
Absolutely. And I only reschedule on my end if it's absolutely necessary. We've had times where people come over for a party and I have a podcast scheduled, and I'm like, hey, this podcast is scheduled first. I tell my wife, I'm closing and locking the door. I'll be done when I'm done. And everyone can wait for me. So it's fine.
Right. I think that's called the Parkinson's rule. I think that's what it's called. It's that the procrastination is a great example.
Mm-hmm.
People that procrastinate get shit done in one day. So they can get a project that's meant for 3 weeks of time, and they get it done in a day.
Yeah.
You have to, and then you just use that principle in your time blocking method. There's another matrix. There's this matrix that I use. It's like, you take the important and then the not important. Then you have the urgent and not urgent. And it's like this 4-block matrix. Like the not important, not urgent, delete it from your whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have your urgent, important. That's the stuff. That's that to fill your cup. That's that important things that you need to get done urgently that day. That in the morning you wake up, grab like a protein bar or something, you sit down, you start working. So like that's what I did today. Like I woke up at 7 in the morning, got in the shower, and then after I got out and everything, I sat down on my computer and started working. And I got all my things done, and then I take out that block of time to go to the gym because I've started training in the gym almost every day. The days that I can't go are like the days on Saturday when I'm at work.
Yeah.
And the gym closes at 7 p.m. Like, hopefully in the future I can find another gym that allows that stays open a lot longer than that. On Saturday, it's 7. I go to Crunch and they close at 7 p.m. Like what? I don't understand that.
Luckily, there's a lot of things you could do, at just by yourself at home.
Oh yeah, I do 200 push-ups every day now. I've been doing that for almost 2 weeks now. A little over 2 weeks now. 200 push-ups a day. I've already done 100. Gonna do another 100 later in the day before I go to bed.
Nice.
So that's one thing that I do, and I've in this 2-week time span that I've been doing this. Yes, it sucks. Yes, I don't want to do the push-ups every day.
Yeah.
But I do them, and it's like finding these little things just to sit down, you conquer them, and then you move on to the next little thing. And I'm trying to apply that with this. It's tough, and I want to just not do it, but I have to get it done. But
now, do you listen to any podcasts, motivational speakers?
I started.
Okay.
I started doing that. So when I was on the way up and down, I listened to Justin Waller.
Yep. Okay.
And I listened to Andrew Tate. So those two, dude. He is a great person, despite what a lot of people think. Andrew Tate
weird that a lot of people think
he changed the way I think.
Right.
Like all this shit. It's not shit. All these things that I'm talking about. Like about this motivation, this drive, and doing stuff even though you don't want to. Like he preaches all of this stuff and getting your mind out of the gutter and being able to think for yourself and being the man that you want to be in life. Because I've always told my mom and dad, I'm like, I want to retire you both.
Yeah.
I can't do that if I'm sitting on my phone, scrolling on TikTok, sitting in my bed, not doing anything, not being productive.
A lot of wasted time.
You waste time, and I don't want to waste these young, youthful years of mine doing shit like that when I can rise above and beyond my peers to take action of what's going on in my head. I have a lot of great ideas. That's what, social media is a great example. I've used to have all these good, I'm having good ideas now, and I'm editing videos. I'm going to edit one after this till we get off here. But these social media things, I have a social media presence. I care about what people think of me, and I shouldn't. And that is one thing that I'm working on now. You can't go to sleep one day after listening to Andrew Tate or somebody like that and tell you oh, you don't care about what people think. You can't be okay, go to bed, wake up the next day. Oh, I don't care anymore. It doesn't work like that. And nothing in life works like that. There's especially working on your mind and growing, as the young man that I am, creating that discipline and learning from mistakes, taking accountability and fixing the problems that you have in your life to make your life go forward. Because sitting on my phone and scrolling on social media is not propelling my life forward in any realm. Going to the gym.
The shitter, okay?
Well, yeah, of course you're on the shitter.
Hey,
Well, that's where I spent I just sit and scroll on the fucking shitter. I don't even do that anymore. I get to sit down, shit, and get off the fucking toilet.
My son and I were talking a few weeks ago about it, and I said, I wonder if humans have extended their ability for their legs not to go numb, extended how long it takes for your legs to go numb on the crapper by using their phone on, because it used to be if you sat on there for more than 5 minutes and your feet start going numb.
Yeah,
and then,
you're
when I was growing up and stuff, and because everyone was hurried up, right? You don't want to sit in there with your own shit. So you want to get done. So, and now
Right.
everyone's on there. Like people come over, and my son goes to the bathroom, and where's Connor at? Oh, he went to the bathroom. Like that was like 30 minutes ago, bro. He's
TikTok is a
watching.
crazy thing. And that's what I found myself on the most. So
Yeah.
a few months ago, I ended up deleting the app as a whole because I
Gotcha.
needed to lock in for school. I had a really good semester.
Mm.
I had a
And what are you studying
3.7.
again?
So marine science is what I'm studying. This is my last year of college. I'm a rising senior. So these last this last year of college, it's going to be difficult as far as like as much rigor. I have a lot of course load. I mean, 16 credit hours, but the courses that I'm taking are heavy, very heavy. Orgo 2 is one of them. So I'm taking organic chemistry, the second half of that class.
Wow.
So to be proactive, I ended up going to the professor that taught me over the last summer, getting some textbooks, and I've already started reviewing. And oh my God, I hate it. I hate it. I sit there and I'm reading it. Okay. And then when something doesn't make sense, when it's not easy, it's when it gets to that not easy portion, I just want to be like, F this.
Skip.
This sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. But then I have to psych myself out. You'd be like, if I don't, I'm going to fail the course, and then I'm going to have to spend another $5,000 on an organic chemistry course. Because that's how much a course is at UTampa. Because if you take, well, thankfully, the course itself is $2,000.
Yeah.
And then the lab is like $1,000. So it's $3,000. I said $5,000.
Yeah, I got
But
you.
it's the principle. You have to spend X amount of money to retake something that you're already spending a shitload for.
And for what reason? All
Exactly.
because it was a little
failed.
too hard and you didn't want to push through.
Exactly. And that cost you money. And you can use that.
And time.
And time. It costs you money and more time.
Yep.
So you're such it's an expense to fail college.
With well, I would say no, there's not no reward or benefit. There's some benefit. You did learn something. You got to step 1 maybe.
Right.
When you should have got to step 5, but yeah.
Are you looking for a company that puts the community first? Look no further than Jefe'sAirsoftSolutions.com. Their founding principle is to offer a way for players of all types to get the greatest experience possible. Their passion is to make a difference in the airsoft community and serve each of their customers with the utmost respect. Be part of the conversation by joining hundreds of fellow airsofters in their Discord server. Here you can find out about upcoming events, sales, giveaways, and more. Don't wait any longer. Join today and start enjoying all that Jefe's Airsoft Solutions has to offer. Together we can make a difference in the community.
So I work at Competitive Indoor Airsoft. Been working there for a year now.
Right.
So when we spoke, CIA was only open for a little over 8 or 9 months, and now it's been open for over a year. We had our 1-year anniversary, we had a Tarkov event and everything, but I'm a referee there.
Right.
I make sure that all the games are running good. I close. Most of the times I close, but there's only one shift that I open, and that is the Sunday shift. I work from 10 to 5, so I have that time slot to practice on Sundays. So that's what that was given to me, courtesy of Mikey. But I'm always closing, so I'm there late. I'm there after hours, blowing off the field and cleaning up and making sure it's nice and pretty for the next day. Yeah. So people will come in and it's not dirty and it looks nice.
Well, because speaking of that, do you have and that's kind of a side note, the cleaning off the field. So you guys try to keep it BB free off the floor, right? Is it concrete?
It is concrete, and the way our CQB field is set up, it's not really polished, so there are like cracks and divots where BBs will get stuck in. And my philosophy,
you're not going to slip on that, right?
You're not going to slip on it, no. It gets to a point where there's so many BBs on the floor where it's a hazard. And we blow off the field each night to prevent that. And sometimes the BBs, when you're blowing them off, you can blow off the field it's not going to be perfect ever. It's not going to be perfect at all. Like when I say perfect, 100%.
No.
Like when we started blowing off the field when we first opened the place, I shot for around like you gauge it, it's like 95% clean because there's going to be BB like one singular BB or two
Yeah, those aren't the
every
issue.
here and there. It's never the
Mm-mm.
issue.
No. It's the
Because
big
some
groups
BBs
of
will
them that
go
most of
behind
your
you when you're
sole of
blowing.
your foot, touches,
And then you just
that's like a
slip.
like ice.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you guys, do you
yeah.
use a blower, a leaf blower?
Yes, we do. It's an
Okay.
electronic one. It's the Milwaukee leaf blowers.
Yep. Those are great.
They're pretty good. And they get the
Okay.
job done. It
So
takes half hour to do at most.
yeah, it's not bad. So doing all these things, you're a full-time student, you work on the weekends.
And that work isn't even hard.
No, it's not hard,
work.
but you still, it's not like you have the
It's just the
freedom to
devoting time.
You got to be there. Like this is, it's a job. So you got to be there. And then you're running this team, and then, these NSL tournaments and things. So how do you balance, and of course you're working on yourself. So how do you balance, all of that stuff? And I'm sure you're getting, you're always talking with your team and talking with, other people in the industry. So you've got communication going on all the time.
Right.
How do you balance all this? Like, do you have we were talking about earlier, you have this set kind of schedule,
right,
that you follow?
It's like I balance it by right now. Like I'm not the best at balancing it right now because I'm still young, and it's all like
you're learning
life. I'm learning as I go. And recently I'm picking up, like I'm on day 2 of doing this, by the way. Gotcha. I just started blocking out my day. Like good. I never sat down and normally planned out my day, but for the past 2 days, I sat down on my bed. The last thing I do after everything has been done, I planned it out the whole next day, using the little important, urgent matrix and then that Parkinson's rule or Parkinson's law of if it can get done, it will get done in a certain amount of time, trying to practice that in these time blocks that I create. And just do it. And it's just the little things. Checking off shit, wake up, check. Like, holy shit. It feels good.
It does.
And that's how I, like, a few months ago, like, rewind all the way back to last summer when CIA first opened. And I was working so long. I was the only ref there. It was me and David. David's the tech. He still works there. He's good tech. Him and I would work all day, almost every day of the week, 12, 15-hour days. Just boom, 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 boom. Then I was taking organic chemistry, and that's just like hell. And I'm taking the second part of the course, and I'm doing what I need to do to not make it at least not hell for the most part. But and then living conditions weren't right, and everything in my life seemed like wrong, and it put me in a bad spot. And like I wasn't thinking right. And then like I just hated it. I hated my life for some reason, and I didn't know why, and I wanted to change. I didn't go to the gym anymore. I had no time to go to the gym. I was like I lost 20 pounds. Like I was fucked. And then I just wanted to change. I didn't know how. And then I ended up moving into this house and just talking to my mom and dad a lot. And then granted, I'm lucky to have them both. And then they kind of got me in this right headspace.
Yeah.
And then, like, I was scrolling on my phone one day. God, it's Andrew Tate. It was last year. I didn't really fully understand what he was trying to say yet. Yeah. But he was just like, I wake up in the morning and I'm alive. Great. Are the people that I care about still alive? Yep. Okay, cool. I'm happy. I said, I started doing that. Bro, there's some days, I mean, I'm happy every day.
Yeah.
I'm happy every day. It doesn't matter what the fuck is going on in my life. Besides, like, same thing. Check those 2 criteria. I'm awake. Mom, dad, mama, papa, family members still alive. My brothers that I'm not blood brothers, but like those kind of brothers, they still awake.
Right.
Like, is my team, like, the people I care about still awake? Cool. Move on.
You know
Do it.
what's good about that too is a lot of good teachings on how to get over those that kind of funk or whatever, you know.
Right.
I heard somebody say a long time ago, it's not negativity that's your enemy, it's apathy. And I thought, holy shit, because at least negativity inspires emotion. Okay.
Right.
It might be negative, but at least it gets some kind of fire
It's
going.
some
Okay?
fire. Yes.
Apathy is our worst enemy. And when you get in these funks, and I'm guessing that's kind of what you were feeling, like, oh, I just don't, nothing's worth it. Like, why go to the gym? Why do this? Why do anything?
Why do that? Right.
That happens to me as well. And it's most of the time it's when I don't follow my regiment, you know, of my morning practice or whatever. But it's Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is probably I started listening to him in the 90s. And he's the first big motivational speaker that I had ever heard of. And I remember the first time I listened to him, he's like, it was on a cassette tape. Okay. So it was way back.
Wow. That's way before me, man.
That's way before.
I mean, I had the VHSs, but that don't count.
Yeah. So it's, and he was like, and I'm pretty serious. I can be kind of serious type. Okay. It's part of my personality. And so he's like, you're sitting there right now, you're scowling, just smile. He goes, I want to teach you how your body language can change your feeling. It doesn't always have to be the other way around. I was like, oh, you know, because we always hear like what's on here is kind of showing what's
it's going to show. And right.
Yeah. And so he's like, no, I can show you how to do this. He's like, just sit there and smile right now. Just smile as big as you can. The dumbest, biggest smile, like nobody's looking at, just do it. And I was like, so I went there, I'm sitting there by myself and I was kind of embarrassed to do it. I was like, what, like, wow. Why am I embarrassed? Why? Because no one's here. So I did it and I started doing what he was talking about. And he's like, now say this or whatever, you know, like louder. I was like, holy shit.
Huh.
Dude, now I was in the Marine Corps at this time. This is my last year in the Corps. And so I knew about the power of like yelling, right?
Right.
Like that, you know, okay. Especially with a big group of guys where you're all this chemistry together and you're doing this, you know, you feel that kind of, that emotion or whatever, but it's, we were always yelling in anger. Okay. We're kill, you know, not like being happy, you know, we're not smiling about it.
Like,
so
just dull.
That's the only way I knew how to deal with something. So I wanted to learn, like, okay, when I'm sitting here not doing that, how do I? So I was like, whoa. So just smiling, like kind of silly, and it changed my mood. I was like, holy shit, okay. But he went through this little process. It took a couple minutes, but I've been listening to him for a long time. He's a good one to listen to, and then Rob Dial is another one. If you haven't heard of him, he's got a everyday podcast that's like 15, 20 minutes. It's really good. But yeah, anyway, so these principles are very overlapping. They're all, you know, a lot of them are the same, and they really help. They really help.
I'll definitely give those a listen because, like, I listen to podcasts only when I find the time to do it when I'm driving a long distance.
Right.
Because now to free my mind from all this, like, call it cheap dopamine, just like checking your phone, getting the notifications.
Right.
Like, oh, I never knew.
5 people liked my thing.
I never knew how much of an impact the little things had on my mental state until I took a step back and just from the outside looking in, I'm like, holy shit. Like this social media, like Snapchat, it just controlled my life.
Yeah.
For a very long time. And recently I only use my phone for, now I post on CIA's page all the time, like on their stories. Like when I'm up there reffing, I'll take videos of what's going on in the field to get people like interested. Because if they're sitting at home and they're like, "What do I do today?" and they see CIA's thing and people are there, they're like, "Oh, let's just go up there." Just certain ways to grow the business.
Mm-hmm.
But I've cut out all that just mindless scrolling out and other things, and I'm able to look around and start having more thoughts about what I need to do to progress in my life and what I need to do about work, or what do I need to do to research copywriting, because that's what I'm getting into now. I'm writing copy, to learning how to do all that, learning the art of human influence, learning how to talk and communicate with others in order to inspire, in order to get that call to action, get people to take action based
Right.
on influencing other people's emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully it's
Like
going to
sales
pay off.
101.
It's going to pay off, and it's a very valuable skill, especially in business in the future, because I've always planned on opening a business of my own.
Yeah.
So if I develop the skill now and learn how to master it, it's going to set me apart from the rest.
Right.
So I've been doing research on that, and like that, organic chemistry and work and working out and obey team. Like I have all these things in my life, and some will generate problems, but I'm starting to like problems in my life because it generates it requires solving. And
Right.
if you figure out the best way to solve a problem and you keep solving different levels of problems, it's crazy to think about like the kind of person you'll become. Right.
Sure, it gives you those that, hey, this is my purpose right now in the moment.
Exactly.
Fix this, solve this and move to the next one. Yeah.
And that's kind of how you have to live anyways. Because a lot of
Oh,
people get stuck looking at the bigger picture, and I'm like, bro, focus on the now, focus on
like
what's going on right
yeah,
now.
for real.
Like,
What is that like? Every overthinker out there. Okay.
oh my gosh, my mom's like, I'm sorry, like I think a lot. I'm like, I used to think too damn much.
Oh yeah.
There's a healthy amount of thinking, and then there's just
Sure.
that fucking destructive overthinking that prevents you from doing the things that you want to do in life.
Well, that's when it's negative, is when it holds you back from taking action. So
Exactly.
any action is good, even if it's bad, like you made a mistake. That's how you learn. So now you have something to learn from. If you're just sitting here, not taking action, just thinking about what could happen, you don't really learn. All you do is get nervous. Like it just fucks you over.
It generates
like, bro,
anxiety.
turn this thing off for a second. Just fucking do sometimes. Just don't think, just do. And now you got an experience to learn from.
Right.
It
either goes good, and you can learn a little bit. You can learn a little bit from doing something good, or it goes complete shit. You're like, oh. And then you start to think logically, like, but if I did this better, then the thing that I was stressing about could have gone a lot better. But I did it now, and now I know. So now I'm not going to think about it next time. I know what to do.
And don't let it be the inhibitor that stops you from taking action next time. Because, when you make a mistake, you're like, oh, all this stuff went wrong. Oh, I should have done this and I should have done that. Okay, next time I'm going to be more cautious. Man, fuck caution, okay? Like, just go do, just put it aside for a minute. Okay, yeah, learn what you got to learn. Do something different. Okay, there's 5 things, whatever variables, okay, this is different. This I'll keep the same. Go do. Don't sit here and think too much about it. Just keep going to do, and you'll figure it out. You'll
and you can tie that into the game itself. When you're out there, like I had this problem when we went to Rhode Island, because like I didn't know. I'm still learning how to deal with the role that I'm in. In sociology they call it role strain and role conflict, where the different roles that you play as a player, coach, and captain, they're all conflicting with each other, and then that causes role strain, and you can't really flex or do much because you're all thinking about all these different roles. But I just kind of collapsed in my own head. But now, like, it's easier said than done, but I learned from it, and I'm going to grow. But people like myself, I'm going to use myself as an example, come off the field if I get shot. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, where did I get shot from? Where did I do this? Where did I do that? What can you do better? But you have to cut it off. There's insightful thinking and there's damaging
True.
overthinking.
Yeah.
And he's like, but if I would did this. And it's like, no, I need to do this, this, and this. Here's what I did. Here's what I need to do. Cut. And that's it. You can't.
Yeah, because otherwise it's going to go, where did I go wrong? Well, it started here. Okay, well, then it goes back to here. It goes back to this step. Eventually, if you keep doing that, you're going to be like, well, I should have never just walked in the door. Okay, I should just fuck it. I'm not even going to do it.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
There has to be that balance of,
because then the problem is that you're going to go back on the field thinking about all these different, what should I do? What should I do? And then while you're thinking, while you're still thinking while you're playing, and you can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
You're still thinking about what happened last game when you're in the game now.
Oh shit!
And
what did I do this time?
Oh,
where did I fuck up this time? Oh yeah, you were thinking about the previous fuck up.
Right,
oh,
and then
shit.
it just keeps piling and
then the third time you go out there, you do it again. You're like, shit.
Right, and it's so destructive and damaging.
Somebody needs to look. You got to have that. It's like those old analogies. You got the devil and the angel on each shoulder.
Right.
Fight, and it's that inner conflict. So you got to have the good you, right? The strong, disciplined you, grab you and smack the shit out of your face, okay? And be like, dude, pay attention, okay?
Reminds me of that scene in The Emperor's New Groove. It's the good Kronk, bad Kronk. That was a very good movie. But
which one is it?
Emperor's New Groove. You've never seen that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. That's right.
This is just a classic. It's got that analogy in there where Kronk is trying to do the right thing, but he's got the bad Kronk and the good Kronk there.
I'm going to tell you a big thing too. A big, and I mentioned it a handful of times on this podcast for myself, and I think a lot of other people too, can relate, is self-pity is probably one of the biggest things that held me back for so long with a lot of things in my life.
Me too.
Like if you're constantly feeling sorry for yourself, but one thing that is pretty common to a good fix for to get over some of these things is, like you said earlier, gratitude. When you wake up and you even throughout the day, you're thankful for whatever. Okay, you're thankful for certain things in your life. When you're really grateful for things, it's very difficult to be angry. It's difficult to be sad. It's difficult to be feeling sorry for yourself. So it's almost like the opposite, and it just kind of floods you with this positive, energetic emotion that you can, go do what you got to do.
Keep that fire lit.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to. And I don't know what sparked me to do it, but yesterday, I was about to ref a 20-person party. This big party showed up. They were really good. I ended up teaching them a lot of things about speed and whatnot, and they were very appreciative of it. And I just went outside. I told John, who was the store manager at the time, I'm like, just call me, come outside and grab me when they're ready, because they were taking some time. I go out and I just call my parents, and I just sat down and tell them I love them. I don't know. Wow. I was just like, okay. And they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, we know. And we love you too. Just keep making us proud. You did they're my driving force. You got to find a driving force.
Right.
And that's in finding a purpose in life. And I know what mine is. And my purpose is to help the people that I love and care about. And I can't do that if I'm not successful. And just I use that to motivate me throughout the day. If I'm doing a task that requires it's challenging, and I need that extra fire, I just just imagine them looking over my shoulder, being like, "Oh, you need to do this," or imagine my dad saying, "You're a lazy piece of shit," or something like that. Because I remember growing up as a kid. I grew up.
Dad, right there. Okay.
Oh, he's a great dad. He taught me looking back at it, I was like, why didn't I fucking realize this when I was young? It was just because I was fucking young. I was young.
Yeah.
I want to sleep in. I played video games.
Sure.
a whole bunch. And my dad would just get me out in the yard and just do random shit.
There
Just
you
a
go.
bunch of yard work. Blow the leaves, cut the grass, make sure and it made me appreciate like lawn work, like lawn care. Like that's one thing that I want in my house, like my own house, like not the one that I'm about to move into.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little yard. I don't know about the maintenance yet, but I'd rather take care of it myself and make it look pretty because it's about the care. You got to take care of the things that you own, and in turn, it makes you feel better about yourself.
Right.
It's like completing a task that you don't want to do, like washing your car. Like I washed my car, like I didn't want to, but I ended up washing my car and I looked at it and I was like, that looks nice.
Yeah.
That looks nice. Like I don't keep the inside of my car dirty anymore. Like I try to be like I pick up, like picking up after yourself is huge. Like I got to the people on my team that is listening to this right now. If this offends you, then you're the problem. Picking up after yourself is huge, and that's a main problem for our team. Is that some of them don't know how to pick up after themselves. And I don't know anyone in particular besides Mason since he's 13 years old. And I yell at him all the time for it.
Yeah.
But it's just the small things.
And a lot of times that doesn't come natural. That's something that has to be instilled.
Exactly.
Like but I will say, if you're an adult and you're still doing that, shame on you. Okay. Like, time to grow up. And, if you make the mess, clean it up. Or at least learn how to delegate. Okay. If you're good, if you're good enough salesman or something, you talk your buddies into cleaning up all your shit, whatever. Okay. At least you got it done. At least you took care of it. Okay.
Right. And then it gets to the point where I have some of my guys at the end of our practices blow off the field as it's just like instilling some of that, like being that father, be like, yo, just clean this up. We all made it dirty, but I want you and you to clean it up.
Yeah.
Just don't there's a deeper meaning, deeper rooted message. Be like, just do what you're told. It's for good.
This episode is sponsored by Skirmish, the future of Airsoft gameplay management. Are you ready to take Airsoft to the next level? Skirmish's innovative gameplay management solution tracks your every move, helping you dominate the field and achieve your full potential. Capture objectives, detonate targets, medic and more at Skirmish-enabled fields. We track every action so you don't have to. Review, replay past games action by action and follow your progress in national rankings. Phones are not required. Get connected with the only system that tracks your Airsoft progress. If you want to find out more, check out episode 157 where I talk with the owner of Skirmish about how it started and how it works. Visit skirmish.net to check it out and watch games across the nation.
Like cleaning up the field is for respect. Respect the field that you play on.
Yeah.
That's the big picture.
Is.
And that's why I take so much pride in just cleaning up and make sure it's actually clean. Because you can't half-ass it. Because then it gets to the point where when you delegate tasks like that to certain people and it comes back unfinished. And that's what my dad always taught me. Like, I bullshit cleaning up the leaves sometimes. He'd be like, there's still fucking leaves on the ground, son. And I'm like, he goes, no, get back out there. This is what happens when you half-ass shit. You got to do it twice. You got to work twice as hard.
Good for them, man. See, listen, good parenting is really, really overlooked in how important it is. It is one of the main things that, one of the most important things. Okay. If when you're growing up, you don't have that. That's not on you. That's not your choice. Like, if you don't have a good parent that teaches you these principles, but in our times now, okay, as compared to, let's say, Little House on the Prairie back whenever, okay, if you were living on a range, 200 years ago, and there's horses and cows and your mom, because your dad was killed, let's say, there's a lot to do. Maybe you don't have time to learn if your mom's not really involved in, all you do is work. That's fine. But today, with all the access to information we have,
unlimited access,
you can watch videos. There's people that do reviews. There's people that do like on daily housework, on daily chores. There's the motivational speaker stuff we were just talking about. They teach you principles. All you have to do is start applying them. And then you got people that show you how they do it. Like there is no excuse for a 22 or 23-year-old today that doesn't know these basic principles about respect. Respect yourself and respect others. Like clean up your shit. Like I always told my kids, like when they got to be like teenagers, they talk about high school or homework or whatever, and I'm like, handle your shit. Like you're old enough now. I shouldn't get a call from a teacher. Like we're well beyond that. That stuff happens in elementary school or middle school, but
that's
you
given,
learn, but as you get older, like I expect more out of you, and handle your shit. And that is, I went to one of my buddies. Oh, this is like a handful of years ago. I went to get in his car, and him and I were both, at the time, we were both in our, I don't know, late 30s or something, maybe early 40s. And I opened up the car door, and his whole car had fucking trash all in the back seat. It was only him that drove it. It was just his work car.
Right.
And I'm not talking like work trash, like tools and parts or whatever, shit like that. I'm talking like
wrappers and shit.
Yeah. It's all food wrappers and
bag and cans and cups. Yeah.
Dude, I open it up. I mean, there was literally nowhere for me to sit. It was one of these scenes like in a movie.
Just pick it up and put it in the back.
He had to scoop it. He like swiped it onto the floor. And I said, bro, I'm not sitting in this fucking junk ass piece of shit. What are you doing?
Yeah, dude.
It's like, just sit down, man. Come on, we'll go. I'm like, listen, don't. And now he's a good guy. We're really close friends, but it really does show how you think about yourself. Sometimes on how you take care of your possessions. Okay. If you treat them like shit, then you probably think yourself like shit. I don't know,
That's true. Yeah. The way you act, the way you carry yourself,
right?
It's a big reflection on your lifestyle, and how you treat others is huge. It's respect. You give respect. You never, sometimes you get it back. Most of the times you're going to get that respect right back. You always give it you have to give it to get it.
Yeah. And you won't always get it back.
Oh,
and you have to be good with that. You have to be strong enough mentally and emotionally to be able to handle somebody not treating you the way you want to be treated. That's part of life, man. You can't control everyone. You can't control what they say. Right. And this is something I've said before, and I got some flack for it, which is fine. I don't mind. I will always take input from somebody, constructive.
Oh, dude, I love constructive criticism. Yeah, I'm an open book
because I like to be better. But
me too.
This thing, there are certain things you're not going to change my mind on because they're basic principles of life.
It's that intolerance.
You can't change how everyone on the planet acts.
True.
You just can't. You can't force them to act a certain way. You don't know how they're going to. So if that's the case, so the if-then statement, if that's the case, then how do you protect yourself from not getting emotionally hurt every single time somebody calls you fat or ugly or whatever, okay? Or you suck. So how do you defend against that? It's because look, if you're 12 and somebody calls you fat and it hurts you so bad you go home and cry. Should you still go home and cry if that same thing happens when you're 22? No, if that happened, you're 22 and you
should have been
learned,
fixed that shit.
That should have been fixed. You should. So you should be a little tougher, right? So you shouldn't go cry when you're 22. I'm gonna look at you like, bro, what the fuck? Like you should be beyond this, okay?
True.
Well, no, we should just force everyone not to be able to call me fat. Well, no, that ain't gonna work, okay? So you got to be strong. You got to be strong internally. Like you got to be emotionally and mentally.
You do.
Strong. It's just part of life.
Growing up, it was like that, but the opposite. I grew up very skinny, very small.
Yeah.
I was always picked on for it, and for some reason, some people still like to call me small, and I laugh at them because it's funny. It's funny now because it doesn't bother me to this point because I know what I am and what I've been through to become to get in the shape that I am now. I am in the best shape I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
I've been lifting in the gym for 3 years. And now I've started running 2 miles almost every day. I'm trying to get it to the everyday point. But I am running to condition for the game. Like, all this is just connecting back to the game of Airsoft, bettering your physique, your strength, your conditioning, your endurance, your mental, your emotional state, being able to control your emotions, being stoic, being a leader. All of these traits make for a prodigy, a top the top 1% of Airsoft players. Train, go lift in the gym. They run. They train when they don't want to. They have that mental, they're hardened. They have that iron mind. They don't get butt hurt when they get shit on. They always seek to improve in any realm of the game and in life in general. They're always seeking to improve. If I get shot, I always ask them, whoever shoots me, where'd you shoot me from? I mean, I get a little upset when I get shot when I shoot somebody. If I shoot somebody and they don't call the hit and then I get shot, I get a little upset, but that's human emotion. I care about the game so much where it's not in my control anymore.
Right.
You should have been out already. Yeah, I'll get a little bit flustered, but then you have to shut it off. Because that'll end up hurting you more in the long run, especially in tournaments when you act like that, because that conduct isn't tolerated.
Well,
so you have to practice that.
This has come up numerous times, and obviously this is a huge thing in Airsoft that that I wasn't used to to this degree anyway. In paintball is not calling your hit, and so so we've been as this comes up, I'm like, well, what's the best way to get around it? And most of the time I hear, and what I've been, and this leads to this other conversation is, so tell the ref. And I'm going, everyone I talk to in all these different, videos I see and all these people that talk about it and I'm like, wait. I was raised especially, when you're hanging with your buddies growing up, snitches get stitches. Okay. Don't be a tattletale. Tattletales for the wimpy dudes. Okay. That can't handle their shit. So that is the passive aggressive approach where, in life where you go, okay, they did something. It bothered me. I'm not going to say something to their face. I'm going to go over here and tell somebody behind their back and have this entity or person or parents or whatever deal with it instead of me. So it kind of pushes the responsibility off. That was the whole mindset of the way I was taught, growing up, right? And the way we kind of lived it on the street. So in military, same thing.
Right.
You tell on somebody in the military, you're getting your ass kicked. Okay.
Oh, 100%.
So there's pain, there's physical pain involved. So you learn not to do that. Well, it's I have a hard time promoting this idea of the only positive way we can deal with this is teach everybody, all these new guys that are coming in, to be a snitch. And I'm going, is there another way? Can we do another way? And so one of the things I said to this guy, I said, why aren't there a bunch of these cheater videos, people blasting each other 2 feet away, getting pissed off each other in paintball? Why don't you see that? And he was like,
it's rare.
And I said, it's because, it does happen. It's rare. I said, have you ever seen a bunch of 12-year-olds on a paintball field? And he's like, no. Exactly. I'm like, why not? Why aren't there 12 and 13 and 14-year-olds on a paintball field? Do they allow them to play? Yeah, they allow them to play. Yes, they do. Why don't they? So I'll ask you, why do you think that 12, 13, 14-year-olds don't play paintball? One of the biggest reasons. It's not cost. Because some of these same guys would be on the field with a $2,000 Polestar. Okay, so it's not cost.
Yeah,
It's
definitely
physical
not the
pain.
cost. It is the pain.
They are afraid to play because when they
Paintballs
get
hurt
shot,
a lot more, right? Because
they hurt way fucking more, bro.
it's a different.
Way more.
And I tell people when I'm explaining, because part of being a referee, you still have to provide excellent customer service, and we get questions, especially when I'm up around the front desk area. I'll answer questions that are asked to me, and one of those common questions is, which hurts more, paintball or airsoft? And I was like, paintball, and then I get into the physics of it.
Yeah.
Just a baseline. It's a different type of collision. You have inelastic and you have elastic collisions. I might jumble them up here, but inelastic collisions is when two objects hit each other and bounce. So in inelastic collisions, there is energy that is conserved. And then elastic collisions is when two things hit each other and they stick.
Gotcha.
They don't bounce. Hopefully I did not mix that up, but the principle is that one sticks, one breaks and sticks, and then one hits and bounces off.
Okay.
So that's why when I talk to paintball players, they're like, oh yeah, the ones that bounce, that don't break, hurt even more. And I'm like, there you go. It's a different collision. You have they shoot at like 3 joules or something like that. Just the sheer weight of 68 caliber paintball.
Right.
68 caliber
Shit's heavy,
paintball.
bro.
It's heavy. It's going to hit you with a lot of
Thing
energy.
hits you, it's a lot of energy.
So all that energy, the energy is dissipated throughout the splatter. So you're not getting hit with that 3 joule. But when you get hit with that solid paintball and it bounces, all of that energy isn't lost. It's
still
not
there.
lost. It's conserved, and it's boom. It's still there, and you're like, damn. And then I feel like that's how a lot of paintball players gauge whether they got a bounce or a break.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, oh, that one hurt a lot more. Okay. That one didn't break.
It feels like you got shot with a rubber bullet. Yeah.
Right.
So
sim round.
I think yeah, I know, right? I don't know. So on the airsoft field, I totally understand from a field owner's perspective and standpoint, legally, different, safety rules.
That's what it boils down to.
It does.
At the end of the
and
day,
I understand. So I'm not saying that we shouldn't do that. I'm just saying, what other options do we have to teach people to be honorable on and off the field, and don't be a tattletale, but try to handle yourself, and take responsibility. But how do we deal with this? And so one of the things I thought was, make sure that nobody can wear any kind of protective clothing except on, obviously the
eye pro
stuff for your eye pro and your head. If you want to protect the back of your head, that's, of course, in your face, but your hands and arms and your upper torso is mostly what gets shot in airsoft, because that's what you're peeking out. I mean, rarely does your legs get shot. I get it. It will happen here and there, but it doesn't matter. So I'm thinking, I told this guy, well, what if we just had, if all these fields said, hey, you got to play in a t-shirt and no gloves, no arm pads. Now, the arm pad thing we're going to have to figure out, because if
that's when you need to use to actually play the floor.
Yeah. If
and
you're
not actually injure yourself.
Right.
Because that's where padding comes into play. Padding isn't worn to shy away from the pain. It's worn to protect yourself from the concrete, the hard floor, so you're able to slide around and move efficiently and effectively.
Yeah. But these guys that show up that are like 12, 13, 14, they're just getting into airsoft.
And they got these hoodies.
Yeah, they got hoodies, man. Plus a t-shirt or 2 t-shirt. Yeah, dude. Like, they're not going to feel it. And if there's not that pain involved, I think they're not going to respect the game as much. I don't know. I just feel like that's
when there's no pain, when you're first starting out and there's no fear involved, you're just going to run out in the open and get shot a bunch of times.
Yeah.
It's because when I was reffing yesterday, it's funny that we're talking about this now because a brand new guy came in. He was wearing a hoodie. And one of our normal people that play, people are playing on the speed field. And I'm sitting here watching this new guy run around. And I'm just seeing all these BBs just bounce off of him. And he's not calling it.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay. Because I told him at the beginning, I said, look, I know what you're wearing right now. You're wearing a hoodie, and I've become a victim to this phenomenon where when you're wearing a hoodie or something that's baggy like that, the jacket or the hoodie will absorb all of the energy. It's absorbed, and you won't hear it, you won't feel it, and you continue to play innocently until somebody's fucking mad at you. They're like, "You're out, get the hell out! I shot you," and you're like, "What the hell, bro?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Like, okay." And then
You mad,
got
bro?
this, yeah, literally some people like that. They're like, "Oh," and then they start escalating it. I'm just like,
Right.
okay, like my job is to prevent people from arguing and fighting on the field. I mean, granted, I get that whole philosophy of that snitches get stitches, and you're not really supposed to tell on somebody. So what I've kind of done recently is I tell people we have this overshooting rule, and that's whenever somebody puts their hand up, you stop shooting, and that's a great rule, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's like instead of complaining about somebody not calling their hits, shoot the shit out of them until they put their hand up, because until they put their hand up, that rule is in place, so they can't complain about it.
Right.
Put your hand up and you won't get shot. If you're not putting your hand up, if you're shooting back, they're going to continue to shoot at each other until that person could get hostile. But then that's when I say, okay, now you need to break away from that, and then let the person that's now getting hostile be reprimanded, because that behavior is not tolerated at the field.
Yeah.
So instead of telling them, like, yeah, if you have any problems on the field, like, come tell me. But to solve that issue, you can solve it yourself by just shooting them until they put their hand up. And that's what I've been telling people these past few weeks. And it's working. We don't have any fights. We've never had a fight on the field. Cross my fingers.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we'll get people that are heated. And I'll tell them, I was like, look.
Well,
it's like the de-escalate. I was like, just go sit out for the rest of the round. I'll come out and talk to you and address your problem. And that's worked all the time. I'm very successful. They're like, yeah, like he was doing this, this, and this. And I'm like, okay, go outside, take a break, drink some water. Because it gets hot in that warehouse, especially in Tampa. The humidity gets in there. It's like an oven. Then I go talk to the other party and get their side of the story.
And that'll make you like way less or more temperamental for sure.
Right, it will.
The
heat and called the blood boiling phenomenon, right? So, and then the end all, like I'll tell both parties, like, shake hands. Like, we're fucking grown men. Let's go. I mean, unless it's like a kid that's crying or something.
Yeah, I saw this video years ago of this study where they, it's talking about how people react to being in a room where it's hot. They put in a married couple that had been married like more than 5 years or something, right?
Right.
And they're like, they talk to them ahead of time. And, they're great. Everything's fine. They're in this nice office. It's nice and air conditioned, whatever. They put them in this room. Like, hey, can you guys wait? Whatever. They were just doing a study. And they had a camera in there. They were watching and listening. And they turned the heat up in that room. Right. And then somebody would come in every randomly, whatever, and be like, okay, we're about to get to you. Just hang on one time. It was, some kind of storyline behind it where they said, okay, just, you got to wait here for us. And you could just see, it was like, I don't know, the timer going, bro. It was like a pressure cooker. Okay. It's like 8 minutes. They're like, okay, what the hell's going on here? Like they start getting impatient. The heat goes up, and then they start getting more impatient. And yeah, man, you have people in a room where it's very uncomfortable, like where it's hot.
You start to think differently.
Oh, you do.
And that's one of the advantages that we kind of took advantage of during our tournaments down here. So the people that aren't used to that heat, you can fuck with them. Yeah. Like bad, like subtly, like not even like being mean or rude or disrespectful, but just like going all the way back to how we started this conversation. It's like changing up the little things.
Yeah.
And they just get so frustrated, and then you play off their anger, because that's you play off their frustration. You're like,
Right.
and that kind of gives you more confidence. That you're sitting there in the heat, and you're like, bro, we're not even tired, and these guys are like, man, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
oh, they're
flipping
yelling at
out.
each other, they're flipping out, they're
Uh-huh.
breaking down, and we're just like, yeah.
Tourists that come in, like people that aren't, that aren't from there, that come around
Sometimes.
there. Are
It's-
you guys
it's
close
not,
to?
um,
Okay.
Not like reoccurring all the time.
Yeah.
But we'll get some people that are just stopping by, just want to check out the place,
Yeah.
see what we're about, just like things like that. And then they'll be like, yeah, when we come back next time, we'll definitely show up. But
One
it's
of the guys
rare.
I talked to was Nashville Airsoft, and a ref over there. He used to be a ref over there, and he's talking about I think half of their, like during the summer and stuff, half of their customers are tourists, like one and done.
Sheesh.
So they come in and so it's a high percentage, and so it's difficult for them to, and they've never played airsoft. So, they're young guys, young kids.
Just want to check it
they
out.
come in. Yeah, I just want to check it out. It's like, it's better than laser tag,
Yeah,
Laser
it's the
tag.
next best thing.
Yeah. Now, laser tag has something that airsoft doesn't, which is you can't not call your hit in laser tag. Like, you don't have any
It calls
pain
your hit
involved, but
for you.
it turns your gun off, bro. Like,
Yeah, you're like,
you can't even shoot anymore. Like, oh shit, okay. But and the thing beeps or whatever.
Yeah,
but,
and you're flashing, whatever. Yep.
but airsoft's, more
It's an
fun
honor
than,
sport. It is, but it's a
Yeah.
lot more fun.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of rules in laser tag that you have to abide by. Since it is dark in there, you can't really run around. You can't really be.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
You can't be aggressive like you
That's
can
true.
in
Sometimes they'll have those fucking
an airsoft.
strobe light or something.
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
just not very conducive for some actually getting down and playing. Because the party that came in yesterday, most of them were brand new,
Okay.
but they were all like mid-teens. Like the birthday guy was like 17. It was
Okay.
10 of them. 10 of them came in, but they were all like running around in shorts and t-shirts.
Nice.
Most of them were running around shorts and t-shirts, just getting
Okay.
down. Like
Yeah.
I told them, I was like, just don't jump over, climb, or mount anything. Just go and run around, slide, dive, crawl, whatever. Just be safe about it. Don't be stupid.
Uh-huh.
And they were just going at it.
So how was that? How was it for them? Did they?
It was
they had a
great.
good
They
time?
enjoyed it. I
Okay.
told because when they went on the speed field, like my favorite thing is bringing new people on that competition field, and then showing them something, giving them some
Yeah.
tips, and then watching them just implement it. And they come to me and they're like, "Holy shit!" They're just
They're all
like, "Oh my
excited.
god!" Like, they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god!" Like, did you just see what I just did? I was like, "Yes, bro." Like, I just see, like, that makes me so happy. Like, I did that yesterday.
Right.
So at the end of the day, like they've been playing on the speed field. Like we had some 12-on-5s, like the whole party versus like 5 experienced guys. Like they ended up winning. The 12 did, but they only had 2 guys left.
Oh shit.
It was funny. And they had their main squad. Like I told the birthday kid, I was like, dude, you're 17. It's like pick 4 guys that you want to play with. And he was like, all right, pick the top dogs. So we picked all his top dogs. All right, go over there. So the rest of you that didn't get picked, I'm going to coach you until you win. And then the guys that were on the wall, they were like, oh, shit. Because I gave them a little background to who I was, like to give myself credibility and establish that like little bit of authority and like that rapper, just who I am and why like I do the sport.
Yeah.
Like I told them I was going to the Netherlands, told them picked up Team USA and all that stuff. They're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And like what I do locally. And I
It
taught.
helps when they listen.
Yeah. I taught the guys that didn't get picked. I mean, yeah, they're still same party, but they were like they weren't as athletic. There's like a kid in there too. Like all the older guys, more athletic guys.
Yeah.
On one team and like the other guys on the other. Digressing too much, but I teach them, give them the tips, I give them the strategies, tell them where to go and how to play each barrier. And they're like, well, okay. The first time they almost beat them, and the guys that they almost beat were like, holy shit, they were not expecting to get pressured that much. It ended up being like a 1v1. And then one of the guys, it was a 1v1. And the other guy was in the snake, and then the guy that beat him just was over top of him. And I was like, well, it almost worked. Here's what we need to change. And we changed it up a little bit and didn't work. And then that didn't work. But then finally, I told them, because the one thing that they were missing was their snake guy, which was the little kid. I sent the little kid up in the snake. He was very athletic. He could move, and he was fast. It's like, dude, you need to get here. You're getting in the snake, but you're not doing what you need to do in the snake. So I told him, it's like, you need to go here, back up to here, and then you need to bounce back and forth between the two, because you can see and catch like 3 bodies. And he's like, okay. And he does that, and then they win. And it was the last game of the night, and they were like, oh, wow. They were like, y'all did it. And it was really good. Like, I provided like a really good experience for them all. That's like, cool. It was a challenge. It was fair. They won some. They lost some. It was just fun to see. And I always tell them, I was like, hopefully, like, I've instilled like this fire inside of you to like come back on your own time and play and pick the sport up, because it's really fun and I want to grow it. And they dig it all the time. And that's what I do with all these new people. Right.
Well, it's cool to have parties like that too, because they're local, at least most of them. So, that they could be returning people that, who knows, might be start a good team sometime, or
exactly.
Team later.
That's my goal. That's my goal. But listen, like, I have to go to work in the next.
Yeah, dude.
I have to leave soon. Yep. So I need to get ready and fix food to take. That's what I take. Like, I fix some peanut butter honey sandwiches. Like, those are my good like fillers.
Ooh, those are so good. Yeah.
They're good fillers, high calories. They're like 450 each.
Awesome.
Very good, rich in carbs.
Right.
Good natural sugar, and I'll eat a couple of those while I'm at work, and they're good filler. They keep me full. So I'm not like, that's one thing, because I have a fast metabolism and I have to eat a lot in order to achieve the physique that I want.
You got to feed that
muscle,
man.
I have to feed. I have to eat. Absolutely. And when I'm not eating, I'll get a little, little is an understatement. I'll get fucking pissed. Just very highly irritable. It's like how people's blood boils in the heat. Like, when I'm hungry, I'm just like bro, like, I'm tired.
Fuck off.
Like, yeah, literally.
Oh yeah. Awesome,
but
man. Well,
this was a very, very great conversation.
Thanks, man.
Can't wait till this goes out. Too. Definitely gonna hop back on this in the next few months. You're gonna let some time go by.
For sure.
I'll join again after the Netherlands trip.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Netherlands trip and how that all went down. Leave some curiosity for the next time on the cliffhanger, and how the whole Team USA thing happened, since we didn't really get to it, and how it went, how Europe is in general. And just everything that I learned and the people that I've met.
When are you going to?
July 24th. Awesome. My flight is booked. My passport should come in the next week or so.
And then, where can everyone find all your airsoft stuff online?
You can find me on YouTube and Instagram at SpeedSoftLuke. It's one word. And stay tuned. And hopefully this goes up within the next week or so, because I have something that I'm going to release, some merchandise. Stay on the lookout.
Oh shit. Okay.
I am putting something together. I made a logo and I'm going to sell it on maybe a beanie. So stay tuned for that. And the release date.
This will come out next Wednesday, a week from today.
All right, cool. Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be perfect. Awesome. Because by then I should have the sample with me, and I can post it, and everybody will see what it looks like, because I'm only going to sell a limited number of them. So when you got to be active and be ready when they drop, because hopefully they're going to go quick. I know they're going to go quick.
Awesome.
Very limited number.
Well, I appreciate you, man.
Mr. E-Rock, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
If you like this podcast, please share it on your Instagram and tag Trifecta Airsoft Podcast. And don't forget to give a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcast. Thank you for listening.